Okay, so today we will start from sublimation. So first of all, we have to know what is sublimation. See, sublimation is the direct process to form vapor from solid. You can see here there is no liquid state, right? From solid, direct we can form vapor by using heat or by heating. Okay, so this process is known as sublimation. Here you can see the picture from solid to vapor by heating is sublimation, and just the reverse process by cooling we can make solid from vapor. Okay, so you can see here it is written the changing of the solid directly into vapors on heating and of vapors into solid on cooling is known as sublimation. Okay, so now you can see the changing of a solid directly into vapor is called sublimation. As I have said earlier that from solid we will prepare vapor directly by using the process sublimation. Okay, and the changing of vapor directly into solid is also called sublimation. So the reverse is also true. The reverse process is also known as sublimation. Okay, now see the solid substance which undergoes sublimation is called sublime. Here you can see sublime. So what is sublime? Sublime is the solid substance which undergoes this sublimation, that means forms vapor directly upon heating. Okay, so the solid obtained by cooling the vapor of the solid is called sublimate. So you should have a very clear idea about what is sublime and what is sublimate. So what is sublime? Sublime is the solid substance which undergoes sublimation, and sublimate is that solid substance which is obtained by cooling the vapor. Okay, now we can see some example of solids which undergo sublimation. See, the common substances which undergo sublimation are ammonium chloride, iodine, camphor, naphthalene and anthracene. You might have seen about camphor and naphthalene. Okay, have you ever seen the liquid state of naphthalene? I think no, right? And even also camphor. These two substances are very well known to our house, right? We frequently use these two substances. Rather, the other three substances are not that much well known. Anthracene is actually a organic substance. Okay, and ammonium chloride is a chemical. Okay, and iodine is also a chemical, but I think camphor and naphthalene, we all are well aware of these two substances. Okay, so these two substances also show sublimation. You have never seen the liquid state of camphor or the liquid state of naphthalene, right? Okay, so these were all about the example. Now you can see ammonium chloride undergoes sublimation. When solid ammonium chloride is heated, it directly changes into ammonium chloride vapor. Okay, without passing through liquid state. So that is what sublimation. Okay, and when hot ammonium chloride vapor is cooled, it directly changes it into solid ammonium chloride without passing through any liquid state. Okay, that is why it is said that ammonium chloride shows sublimation. Okay, or ammonium chloride undergoes sublimation. Now we can see that solid carbon dioxide. Have you ever heard about solid carbon dioxide? It is nothing but the solid state of carbon dioxide. It is also known as dry ice. Okay, do you want to say what is dry ice? Here you can see what is actually dry ice is. Wait. Just wait for a second. Yeah. So this is dry ice. These are dry ice. Here you can see clearly. These are all images of dry ice. Okay. So see, they almost looks like ice, right? But they are not at all solidified water. They are actually solidified carbon dioxide. That is why they are called dry ice. It's taking some time. Okay. So we will again try after a few minutes. Now let us continue. So ammonium chloride, solid carbon dioxide or dry ice, iodine, camphor, naphthalene, anthracene, they all shows what? They all shows sublimation. Okay, now you can see this picture. Here you can see all the processes are summarized in this single picture. You can see from solid to liquid is melting, and from liquid to solid is freezing, from solid to gas is sublimation, and from gas to solid is also known as the sublimation process. Now here you can see from gas to liquid is condensation, and from liquid to gas is boiling. So if I say it again, from solid to liquid is melting, from liquid to gas is boiling or evaporation. Okay, we will learn about evaporation, and from gas to solid is sublimation. Okay, so this is a complete cycle from solid to liquid to gas and from gas to solid. Okay, now you can see another reverse triangle, that is solid to gas, that is sublimation, gas to liquid, that is condensation, liquid to solid, that is a freezing process. Okay. Now here you can see there is a figure of states of matter triangle. It shows the interconversion of the three states of matter. Okay, I think it is clear. Now let us move. Our next topic is effect of change of pressure. Okay, here you can see gases can be liquefied by applying pressure and lowering temperature. Okay, so you can see from gas we are converting liquid. Okay, actually we are converting gas into liquid, right? So what we have to do, we have to apply pressure and we have to lower the temperature. Earlier you have seen that there are two parameters to change the state of matter. One was temperature and another one was pressure, right? So here you can liquefy the gas by applying pressure and by lowering temperature. Okay, we have also seen that the process of from liquid to gas by boiling process, right? So what we are actually doing during boiling, we are actually increasing the temperature. And when we have to freeze the gas into liquid, we will simply when we have to convert the gas into liquid, we will simply decrease the temperature, right? From when we have to prepare gas from liquid, we will increase the temperature, and when we have to prepare liquid from gas, we will simply decrease the temperature. So that is what is written here. So gases can be liquefied by applying pressure and lowering temperature. Okay, and when a high pressure is applied to a gas, it gets compressed. Compressed means its volume gets decreased. Okay, that is why it is into a small volume. So the word compression means to decrease the volume. And so when we convert gas into liquid, its volume gets reduced. Why its volume is getting reduced? Because we already know that the distance between the particles in gas is too high as compared to the distance in liquid, right? So that is why when we are compressing a gas into liquid, we are making liquid from gas, its volume gets decreased or it gets compressed. Okay, and when we also lowers its temperature, what happens? It gets liquefied. So what we can say is that the gases can be liquefied by compression and cooling. So what is compression? Compression is decreasing the volume or increasing the pressure. See, pressure and volume, they are inversely proportional. Okay, if you ever see the PV diagram, it is something like that. It is not working. So okay, however, actually pressure and volume are just inversely proportional. That is why whenever we are increasing pressure, volume decreases, and whenever we are increasing volume, its pressure decreases. Okay, however, so we can liquefy a gas, that is we can form liquid from gas, liquefy means to make it liquid. Okay, so whenever we are liquefying a gas, we have to do the compression work and as well as cooling. So we can convert gas into liquid by compression and cooling. Okay, now here you can see the PV diagram. See, that is the PV diagram. It is not working. Okay, this is the PV diagram. Okay, so that is P and that is V. So whenever you will increase the pressure, you can see whenever you have increased the pressure, see the pressure is too high, but what about the volume? The volume is too low. And when you are decreasing the pressure, the volume gets increased. Okay, and when you have again increased the pressure, the volume again increased. So that is the PV diagram. Okay, this is known as PV diagram. So from this diagram we can say that pressure and volume are just inversely related. So that is P and that is V, and the diagram is something like that. Okay. Okay. So we will now move forward. Here you can see how we can liquefy a gas by using pressure. This is a cylinder which is filled of gas particles. And there is a piston over the gas particle, and we are simply pushing the piston. That is, we are compressing, we are decreasing the volume. See, earlier the volume was that much amount, but after compression or after reducing the volume, it is that much. Right? So what we have done, we have compressed the gas by pressure. So you can see by applying the pressure of the piston, what happens? The gaseous particles come closer, right? And due to this closer connection or due to this approximation, what happens? If after that we are continuing the pressure we are continuously applying the pressure, what happens after some time? After some time we will see that the particle will get too close that the gas can liquefy, or the particle of the gas will become so close to each other that there will be a high intermolecular force of attraction or high cohesion force as compared to the particles in gas. So as a result of that, the gas will be liquefied. So that is how we can convert gas into liquid, or we can liquefy a gas by applying pressure. Okay, here you can see this is the figure of what? By applying high pressure, the particles of gas can be brought so close together that it liquefies, that is turned into liquid. So what does this word liquefies mean? Liquefies means turns into liquid. Okay, nothing else. A lot of space between the particle of gas. Why? Because the distance between the gaseous particle is too high. There is very low intermolecular force of attraction in the gaseous particle, right? And there is a lot of space between the particles of gas. So that is why we can reduce the space or the distance between the particle of a gas by enclosing it in a cylinder, and we can compress it by using a piston, as we have seen in this picture, right? We have seen in this picture that by applying pressure of the piston, we can compress the gas and we can cool it. So what we have to do? We have to do compression and cooling. We already know that compression and cooling is important to liquefy a gas, right? So here you can see there is a lot of space between the particles of gas, and we can reduce the space between the particle of a gas by enclosing it in a cylinder and compressing it by pushing in the piston. If enough force is applied to the piston, that is too much pressure is applied to the, if too much pressure or the required pressure is applied to the piston, what will happen? The gas will become compressed, that will be highly compressed, that is its volume will get decreased, right? And due to this decreased volume, the gaseous particle will be very close to each other. And if we continue to apply the pressure, what will happen after some time? And subsequently, if we are cooling the gas, what will happen? After some time, we will see the gas will liquefy, because as a result of both cooling and compression, the gaseous particle will come enough closer to have a strong intermolecular force of attraction, right? And due to this intermolecular force of attraction, what will happen? The gas will be liquefied. So that is what is written here. You can go through it. Okay, now here you can say gas must be cooled below a certain temperature before liquefaction by pressure can occur. Okay, now here you can say ammonia gas can be liquefied by applying high pressure and lowering the temperature. That is same thing. So what we need is high pressure and lowering the temperature. That is all to liquefy our gas. Okay, now we can say decreasing the pressure and raising the temperature will do what? Will do just the reverse one. When we are raising the temperature and also decreasing the pressure, so what will happen? The liquefied gas, that is the liquid one, will again become the gaseous one. Okay, now we can see this will become clear from the following example. Solid carbon dioxide is stored under high pressure. Why under high pressure? I think now you can understand why high pressure is required, because carbon dioxide is itself a gas, right? So to convert it into solid, what we need very high pressure, right? Whenever we are making liquid from gas, we need very high pressure, and we know the intermolecular force of attraction in solid is even higher as compared to the liquid. So we need even much more pressure, right? So that is why solid carbon dioxide, or which is also known as dry ice, is stored under high pressure. Now you can see this is because on decreasing the pressure on solid carbon dioxide, it gets converted directly into carbon dioxide gas. As I was saying when I was discussing this point, decreasing the pressure and raising the temperature can change the state of matter. I was saying then. Okay, so what we need to maintain very high pressure as well as cooling process. Okay, so that was about sublimation. In our next video, we will discuss about evaporation. Okay, so bye bye and take care.